This is a game we have been waiting for over a month. Right here in this high school, one team is going down to their first defeat in conference play. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Clark for the Saline Community Television Network. With me again is Dan Waltz. Dan, nice to have you back. Two undefeated teams in 5-0 Saline and Dexter at 4-0. It looks like it could come down to the bench for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think it may be. Dexter has 5 seniors coming back from last year, and they're going to be really tough. But they also have 4 really good bench players coming out, and we're going to see them tonight. We'll talk about them throughout the game. I think it's going to be the battle of the benches. Whoever's bench comes up and does the job, I think you'll see that team win tonight.
Earlier this week, Saline beat Lincoln after trailing in the first half of that game, and it's no longer the Chris Baker show here anymore. Jacob Allis, the junior, scored 14 points and had 17 rebounds in that game, and he has been lighting it up the past few weeks.
Yeah, Chris Baker's been dominating inside, and with him and Allis, I think you're going to see probably 25, 30 points from both of them. So we're going to get some consistent scoring from them. The question's going to be who's going to step up? Who else is going to step up for Saline?
Coach Randy Swoverlin has got the Dexter Dreadnoughts, the second best team in the area defensively. They only trail tonight's opponent, our Saline Hornets, and we will have the tip-off in just a moment on the Saline Community Television Network.
Welcome back as we are in the Saline High School Gymnasium, and the starting lineups are just coming across now. It's the same regular 5 we've seen in the past few games, a team that has won their last 7 games after dropping their opener by just 4 points. The point guard is Ryan James. The shooting guard, Ed Gall. Jacob Allis is the power forward. Jeff Mack is the small forward. And the center is Chris Baker, number 55. And a good bench by both of these teams, Dan, as we quickly look upon the Dexter starting lineups. The point guard is Roger Betts. Emlyn Vert is the shooting guard. He'll go against Eddie Gall. Meg Conger is a younger brother of a Conger that played here last year and was one of the best in the SEC. Bill Cipineri is a 6'1" senior. He'll be playing at the power forward spot. And Nick Dyer is just a sophomore going up against Chris Baker, but he's 6'6".
Yeah, Cipineri, interesting because last year he was injured for the whole year, and he actually started as a sophomore on this team. So he was out for the whole year last year. So he's got a point to make, I think.
This is the first of 2 big showdowns this season. After this, the Hornets will have completed the first of 2 round robins against the Southeast Conference. The Hornets at 5-0. The Dreadnoughts at 4-0. The loser is going to find themselves in a hole. Dexter wins the tip. Whoa, Baker got the block shot, but the Dreadnoughts counter with Dyer's putback.
You're going to see that play all night. They do those flex cuts and backdoor cuts. They like playing that. Thank you.
Baker underneath and gets it to go in, and we are quickly tied at 2. The 2 best defensive teams getting a strong start offensively. And the Saline crowd is into it with the student section on their feet.
Watch on the offense when they bring it around the side, the backdoor cut on the opposite side. They'll set the pick.
Mack is sticking to Conger like flypaper.
Dyer just made that cut underneath. There goes Emlyn Burt.
Underneath, we have a foul called. 3-second violation. And so Saline will take over.
I expect Dexter, they're playing man-to-man full court, but I expect them to go into a diamond press at some point in time. They run that a lot during the year.
Now defensively, we have a bit of a switch-up, Dan, as James puts up the shot and gets the deuce. Cipineri is guarding Baker and not the sophomore Dyer. Probably a smart move.
Yeah, they want the senior on the senior for his experience. Sipineri can give Baker all he can handle, probably.
4-2 Saline. 6:25 remaining in the first. The chance of defense by the crowd. Dexter looking for the three, decided where he was positioned, and he tried to drive. That was Burt. And we have a push-off on the rebound against the Dreadnoughts. That's going to go against Conger, I believe. The second team foul.
You remember who that first foul was on?
The first foul was against Sipineri.
Okay.
Hollis with the turnaround.
Oh.
Nice fake. And he gets his first two of the night. Saline's up by 4, 6-2.
Saline's got their big scores both on the boards already. That's a good sign.
Emlyn Burt is looking to drive up the court each time out. He has penetrated the lane a couple of times, but had a 3-second violation called against him already. There's a nice pass inside. Baker can't get the block, and the sophomore Dyer puts it in. It's 6-4 Saline with 5:30 remaining in the first. Baker looking to post up, and Hollis is going to throw it back outside to Mack at the top of the circle. He's going to drive inside left-handed. And we've got a pushing foul underneath. And we believe...
Who was that on?
Number 23, Nick Dyer.
Okay.
Now, Dyer did something that was kind of unusual. It looked like he went all the way to the Saline three-point line and ran back. I don't think you think it was against him. He acknowledged that.
Well, they just changed the call. They just changed the call and called it on Ed Gall. Unbelievable.
Well, we must have missed that. Mack with a near steal. Boy, he is sticking to Conger. Burt's got it again. He's been driving down the lane the first couple of times he's touched the ball. And now Roger Betts, the point guard, and here's the play from Coach Randy Swoverman. The three-point shot by Sipineri is good, and the Dreadnoughts take their first lead since going up 2-0. They have scored the last 5 points, and it's 7-6. James going inside the lane. We've got a foul underneath the paint. That's on Betts.
All right, that's their second team foul then, correct?
Hornets have one.
Right. Okay. I got it straightened out now. Now we know why Conger ran down the other end on that one play, though.
There's the lob inside
nice.
to Baker. A great pass. He puts it up and immediately gets the foul call. This one's going to go against Conger.
Okay, that's one on Conger. Thank you.
Coming into the game, Bobby Korecki. Out goes Ryan James. Now for Korecki, he's a bench player, yet leads the team in steals with 18. The next closest person is Jeff Mack with 10. So you know he's a great player defensively when he comes into the ballgame.
He is so quick, and I think he'll probably be guarding Betts, and I hope he gets a couple picks on him early here.
Dexter fans trying to create some noise to throw Baker off. He doesn't. Baker hits the first free throw to tie the game at 7. And now for the second shot to take the lead. That's off the back of the rim, and we have a lane violation against the Dreadnoughts. So Baker will get a second chance to make the second free throw. .434 remaining in the first quarter. Second one is good. So Baker made them pay for the lane violation. They have the 1-point lead, but here comes the Dreadnoughts on a quick 2-on-1. small forward, takes up another deuce. He's got 4 of Dexter's 9. Mack has got an open 3, and that was well to the right. Korecki now with the offensive rebound. His shot is short, and it's rebounded by Betts.
Dexter's beating Saline down the court now a little bit.
That's a surprise. Baker altered the shot. Always came with the rebound and then lost it. And then Eddie Gall picked it back up. Now Eddie's listening to the play call from Coach Terry Brenneman, and Saline a little confused just for a moment. Now Korecki's got it. Things under control again. Conger guarding Alice, and Korecki is left open all by himself. Someone forgot to cover the point guard.
Well, that's a double team Dexter did on Baker and left Korecki wide open. That looked like a play that Brenneman practiced.
Saline retakes the lead 10-9. Dexter will get the ball back on a kick. There's 3:21 remaining in the first. Saline offensively not having a slow start as some of the previous games that we've watched here.
There's a steal.
There's number 19 for Korecki. He's going to go in.
Oh.
And the ball dances around the rim, but Baker steals the offensive rebound and gets another hoop. That's 6 for Baker.
That shows the strength of Chris Baker on Nick Dyer. He just took the ball away from Dyer. Just took it.
Dyer, remember, just a sophomore. And Korecki is going to be called for his first foul. Dyer giving up about 50 pounds to Baker. McPherson comes into the ball game for Alice. And for the Dreadnoughts,
Keith Shirk
comes in. It's number 45. 45, excuse me, comes in. Thank you. Off the Dexter miss, McPherson drives inside the lane, and he's called for the walk. Did just fine on the dribble drive, but after he picked up the ball, he took an extra step to get around the Dexter defense.
That was a nice strong move by Nate, though, and it looked like a decent jump step, but he must have lifted one of his pivot foots.
Both teams have a solid bench. However, both teams are little reluctant to get into them, at least in mass. Chad Knope comes in for Dexter, and Mack nearly takes the ball away from Vert. Dexter might have to hurry to get past the timeline. No problem. Saline up by 3. 2.5 to go. Vert driving down the lane. Baker challenges him, and Baker's going to get called for the foul, and Vert connects and does a little strut.
That was a strong move. You know, I think he's left-handed. The way he went in there with that left-hand drive. We'll have to watch for that.
It's Baker's first foul of the game. Wilcox checking in for Eddie Gall. So the bench players coming in one at a time for both teams. Each team has 3 of their starters in the lineup. Three-point play is good, and this game is tied at 12. And now here comes that diamond press you were talking about, Dan. Saline breaks it rather easily.
They were ready for it. They had Baker down there. They've done that a couple times this year.
McPherson kicks it back out to Mack, who misses the 3, but McPherson comes up with the offensive rebound. He passes it once again. It was to Mack. Baker thought it was for him, and that's why the ball went out of bounds. 2:04 remaining in the first, and a great matchup of 2 great teams in the Southeastern Conference. Betts has got the ball, loses control, and gets called for double dribble.
Korecki got away with one there. He reached him from behind and caused Betts to lose the ball, and then he hit it with both hands.
Well, look. First couple of passes, the forwards are handling the ball in the backcourt, and when you got Dexter using the press that they so often like to do, that gets a little scary. Betts knocks the ball off Korecki's hands. Saline will retain possession, and Jason Bull will come in for the Hornets for Chris Baker, and in the counter for Dexter, Matt Rule, a 6'5", 195-pound center himself.
And he's just a junior.
Ball was knocked away by Shirt.
All right, that's
but
the
then
way.
Wilcox comes in and gets the 3-ball, and the Hornets get their 3-point lead back.
Well, I'd like to see Jeff hit that first shot. You cannot fall asleep against this Dexter offense. They backdoor so much.
Nope. Passes inside, and we got a foul underneath, and that's on Wilcox. Just Saline's 4th team foul. It'll be the first on Wilcox. And I don't believe anybody has more than 2 fouls for either squad. Betts checks out for the first time. In comes Dave Snyder.
The battle of the bench is going on right now.
Korecki will check him. Nice pass underneath. Good movement by the Dreadnoughts. Keith Shirt picks up the 2, and it's 15-14 as we are in the final minute of the first quarter. Snyder and Korecki going at it. Snyder taking a knee out to stop Korecki's progress. McPherson at the top of the key. Lazy pass nearly picked off by the Dreadnoughts. Now Mack. He's got Bull as a screen, but can't use him. Wilcox with the pump fake.
He's a little off balance there.
And the Dreadnoughts have got the ball with 30 seconds left. Here comes Vert. Oh, nice pass into the paint. Wilcox is called for his 2nd foul. That ball was lucky not to find the center. Instead, the Dreadnoughts will shoot 2. Keith Shirt will do the honors. Mike Comfort making his first appearance. Mack sits out. Korecki comes out, so James can come in for the final 21.5. At least Saline will have the ball back.
I think they ought to put Heppelbauer in right now. He's hit a couple buzzer-beating shots this year.
Well, had a big one this Tuesday night against Lincoln after Saline rallied to take the lead. Rail Splitters came back, and then it was Heppelbauer that gave them the halftime lead. Oh, James took his eyes off the ball. He was starting to travel with it before he caught it. Loses the ball out of bounds, and now it looks like the Dreadnoughts will have a chance to take a lead here as we go into the final seconds of the first quarter. Vert from 3 off the curl. Rebound fight by several Saline members, and this one is going against the Dreadnoughts. The foul is on Shirt. He is first, the team's 4th. The Hornets have 12.4 seconds to get a shot up. Shirt's going to sit out. Conger comes back in for D. Here comes that diamond press to force Saline to turn the ball over, and it worked as Comfort stepped on the end line. And now with 10.5, the Dreadnoughts. So we keep thinking every team's playing for the final shot, but we keep having fouls and turnovers. And there's nearly another one, and Comfort redeems himself. Down to 5 seconds left. Bull is going to pass it right neat to Wilcox after faking the 3 and then gets fouled at the buzzer. And they will count the foul, a 2-shot foul with no time as the players go back to their respective benches, and it can be kind of lonely out there for a free throw shooter.
Yeah, it's just like shooting a technical foul.
I'd almost rather have people there at the line.
Doesn't bother Wilcox.
Doesn't care.
I think that was on Shirt. That's his 2nd.
Shirt checked out.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He checked out for defensive intents and purposes.
Okay, that was on Burt then.
Yep, that's his
Okay.
first, and Wilcox made them both. That's the end of the first quarter. Saline takes the lead on that, 17-15. A well-played first quarter so far. We hope to have plenty more of it on the Saline Community Television Network.
Attention parents of high school athletes. Help your son or daughter's experience in athletics more rewarding by becoming a member of the Saline High Athletics Booster Club. The all-volunteer crew provides scholarships and making additional funds available for equipment and miscellaneous expenses not covered in the school's budget. This fall, a new concession stand has been erected. Here's your opportunity to be directly involved with your child's team. Fill out the membership coupon located inside any Saline High sports program. $10 a year will supply like a child in supporting all Hornets teams.
Free throws all by himself because there was no time remaining in the first, and with those two free throws, the Hornets retake the lead 17-15 in a battle between two undefeated teams in conference play. The Hornets now playing everyone in the Southeastern Conference for the first time. They face the rest of the SEC again through the month of January and February. James driving down inside the lane, got the hoop. Sweet. James well rested, sitting on the bench for a lot of the first quarter. Betts is back out there for the Dreadnoughts. And Bill Siponary's got the ball and gives it over to Snyder. The basket will not count. The foul was underneath, and I believe it's going to be on Comfort. It is. Comfort, that's his first, and that's the team's sixth foul. So the next foul is likely that Dexter will be shooting the 1-and-1, provided not a player control. This is Betts calling the play. Out to Snyder and then back to Betts. Dexter playing a little more patiently as both teams are trying to find a quick shot first, and we have got an foul in the paint. Comfort didn't believe he should have been called for it, but he's going to pick up two quick ones within the first minute of the second quarter. That will put the Dreadnoughts on the line, shooting the 1-and-1. To do so will be Dave Snyder. Chris Baker comes back off the bench, and so does Jacob Ollis. Dexter's got 4 of their starters out on the court right now. Saline has 3. The first free throw is no good, and there's a fight for it, and Dexter eventually gets it. Conger threw it off Ollis, and Comfort comes up with it. James and Betts again. Ollis hasn't seen the handle too much. Baker is going to do the turnaround baseline shot. Ollis was fighting for it, but couldn't tip it to himself, and Betts ends up having it. They're going to race it up the court. Snyder passing it inside. Siponary. Saline doing anything different defensively, Dan?
They're just playing tough man-to-man, and Dexter's continuing to do their cuts, and thank goodness that didn't go down.
The ball rimmed out. Hornets still maintaining a 4-point lead with 6:20 remaining in the second.
If Dexter starts hitting those three-pointers, it could be a long night for Saline.
Ryan James falls down as he shoots the shot. No foul called. James quickly gets back on defense. Comfort giving Snyder a lot of room on the perimeter. And then Comfort came back out, and they eventually passed it. Conger's got it now. Siponary's going to take the 18-footer. That one rattles in, out, and then back in again. And Saline's lead has been cut in half to 2. Baker is being double-teamed. He sticks out an elbow. Ball goes loose, and it's off Dexter. Saline will get the ball. Ed Gall coming back in, and so does Emlyn Vert.
Both teams using massive substitutions.
Took them about the first 4 or 5 minutes before we saw one, and they started trickling in, and now there's rapid substitutions by both teams. I think Saline is dictating the substitutions, and Coach Randy Swoverland is countering them. They called goal for the travel on that. You see it called so often in high school, the pump fake and then the drive.
Right. I saw him call that on Michael Jordan a couple weeks ago, and I thought he was going to cry a river.
Pass break opportunity. Good passing underneath, and a walk before the bucket. Saline dodges a bullet there. That would have tied the game with 3:18. And now the Hornets take a timeout. We talked in the pregame show about the emergence of Jacob Wallace, the junior. Right now he's number 2 in rebounding and point scorer, but he's moved up into the team's leader in assists as well. And Tuesday he had 14 points and 17 rebounds in Saline's victory against Lincoln. He's really come along.
Yeah, he's a player, and we're going to be so lucky to have him come back next year, only a junior. And he can score. He can light it up, and we need some more scoring from him tonight. He's got only 2 points, so we need to get the ball into him, and that might be what they're talking about right now, to try to get Alice the ball a little more on the inside.
Dexter not in foul trouble at all, really. They only have 5 team fouls against them. Saline has already put Dexter into the 1-and-1. It's a good-sized Saline crowd in here today. They know how important this game is.
Dexter going right back into their diamond press.
Five-second call. Oh, actually they're going to call on a travel. Can't roam that baseline. Wasn't a made shot. Coach Terry Brenneman's wondering where's the travel, and he would like an explanation. Two of them are discussing it. And instead of the official explaining it to Brenneman, it looks like it's the opposite. Looks like the official is doing most of the listening.
Mighty unusual.
Burt going to go shoot the shot from behind the bucket at 17 feet and connects. And Dexter have scored the last 4 to tie the game. And here comes that diamond press again. And the Hornets had some trouble, and they're going to keep it, but barely. Hornets have been turning the ball over a lot in the last few possessions, and traveling calls to steals.
They're having a rough time with that press, and they've got to figure out how to break it. Dexter's, the more we have trouble, the more Dexter's going to run it.
I'm going based on memory, but I thought Saline has turned it over the last 3 times they've touched the ball. Wilcox will inbound. Baker with the turnaround, and he hasn't found it yet from the outside. Most of Baker's points have come from second chances. Sipineri out to Betts, and now Betts tapping his head, not because it itches, but he's calling a play. Dyer loses it. He wanted a foul call, wanted a push-off. He doesn't get it. And Saline takes over.
Just a sophomore. He just doesn't know how strong Chris Baker is. He's thinking he's getting fouled. Baker's just standing there.
And this time they call an offensive foul on Baker. Conger lets him know as well that he committed the foul. So Saline has turned it over 4 of their last 5 possessions now. And this could hurt as Dexter is trying to take the lead. It's tied at 19 with 4.5 minutes remaining in the path. Dyer's going to take an NBA 3. Hollis tips the rebound to Conger. Sipineri is not going to take it from 15, and Dexter resets. looking for a passing lane, can't find it as Gull is playing great defense. A lob pass up for anyone. It came back to Betts. Dexter will reset again.
They've got to call that illegal screen.
What do we have?
Illegal screen on 42.
Okay.
He came out, M1 Burton, and just put his hands down and tried to walk through Wilcox. The crowd's been calling for that all night, and finally they call it.
Baker's coming out of the ball game. That actually puts Saline into the 1-1 now because of that foul, as the Dreadnoughts have now been turning it over as much as Saline has. Korecki comes back in for James. And Hollis is coming to the free throw line where he is 40 of 51, by far taking the most free throw attempts. In second for Saline is Ryan James and Jeff Mack at 28.
Just put them in the book. We'll put them in right now and see what happens. Most announcers, when you do that, you miss them though, huh?
I see. Well, that now makes Hollis 41 of 52. It's close to an 80% free throw shooter. Second one underway, misses. And the Hornets have a slender 1-point lead with 3:42 remaining. Conger's got it against Hollis. He's going to drive the lane, gets past Hollis. The shot is short and rebounded by Korecki. Hollis is wide open in the wing. Korecki didn't see him until late. Hollis will take the 17-footer, and that's an air ball. Betts going to drive down the lane. He's got Conger from 8 feet wide right. Big battle for the boards, and it's Korecki who comes up with it. Korecki's going to push up the court with 3 Dexter defenders. Korecki with a nice move inside. Dips it out to Mack. Gull will shoot the 3. And that's no good. And the rebound is by Sipineri. 3 minutes now remaining in the half. And Dexter trying to retake the lead. They've had a number of opportunities to do it, but they just haven't been able to get the job done. Here comes Betts, and finally the Dreadnoughts get that lead back, 21-20.
Nice little move by Betts and the kiss off the glass.
Hollis, short again. Rebound by Sipineri. Sloverland giving instructions to his point guard. Korecki will try to defend it. Sipineri uses a screen. Somebody missed their assignment. And Dyer gets 2. It's 23-20. Dexter on a 6-1 run. Take that back, 8-1 run. Under 2 minutes now. Hollis with the spin move. And Saline is caught up within 1. I believe the biggest lead for either team has been 4. It's been a very tight and contested game. Conger thinking about, got Mack to leave his feet, then he passed it back out. Now it's Mack and Conger again. Dyer passing about out.
Yeah.
We got a foul underneath, and it's again on Conger.
With their offense, their flex cut offense, they set pick after pick. But as soon as they set a pick, they move. So a lot of times, twice tonight, they got caught.
Well, Dexter, for the final minute and 22 seconds, as Conger picked up his 3rd foul on that, by the way, will have 4 substitutes coming into the game. Maybe a change of pace. The only starter left out there is Betts. This is an interesting move. Will we see, maybe see some different things from this group? Might try to hold on to the ball for the entire minute and 22, slow things down, and maybe they'll play fast and furious. I know this week, if you read the Ann Arbor News, the Michigan beat writer Rick Tomaselli was hoping that the Michigan team would put in a new 5 and change the pace. be something different. Rest up his starting 5. Well, Dexter wasn't waiting to play for the last shot. They tried to push it up the court.
Well, Michigan played a great game last night, though, didn't they?
Beating the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue was the only team in the Big Ten that had a winning record against Michigan at Chrysler. Now it's even at 14-14. But back to Saline's game. Ed Gull is being pressured by Snyder. He gets hacked underneath. And I have to wait to see who it's on. It may be Chad Canopy. Instead, it's on Snyder, his first. The 9th team foul against Dexter. It's a 2-shot foul. Gull willing it to get in. He thought it was a little bit short. A lot of Saline shots tonight, folks, have been a little bit short, so you can't blame him for trying to will it in there.
Looks like he stands off center just slightly on that free throw line.
And Saline scores another. And they are now up by 3 after trailing by 3. So Saline on a 6-0 run in the final minute and a half of play so far. A minute 6 left to go in the corner. Canopy to inbound. James will go against Snyder. And now Saline's defense gets on the correct page. James taking up Betts and Gull taking Snyder. A lot of screens going on Dexter's setting, and Betts is wide open with a shirt screen. Looks like they're going to play for the final shot, though. The lob underneath. The bucket is good by Matt Rule. So the bench gets the point. Saline running out of time. Down to the final second.
28, I think.
Oh, we got 28. We can't see the darn scoreboard, can we, Dan?
Going into our offense here where we hold the ball, try to get a last-second shot.
Right now, Max got it against Snyder. Gull is going to take the handoff from him. He usually gives hands off on the football field. The last second shot is no good. Matt couldn't get control of the rebound tip in. And folks, we have a great ball game here at the Saline High School Gymnasium. The Dexter Dreadnoughts, fast and furious for a while and had a 3-point lead late in the second quarter, but then Saline scored on a 6-0 run, and they have a 1-point lead, 26-25 in a tight ball game here. We will hope that the second half is just as exciting, and we'll have all that in just a moment on the Saline Community Television Network.
I was doing errands in Saline when I heard horrible noises from the back of my car. Boy, was I upset. I didn't have all day, so instead of going to Ann Arbor, I tried Jerry's Tire in Saline. I was really impressed. The guys at Jerry's were quick to find the specific problem. I understood what they were repairing, and they didn't try to replace parts that didn't need fixing. It all added up to a much lower bill than if I had gone to Ann Arbor.
Jerry's Tire and Alignment in Saline supports our local sports teams. Go Hornets from everyone at Jerry's Tire.
If you run a local business in Saline and find advertising rates scaring you away, then the Saline Community Television Network is the way to go. $15 a week can get your business on the air, making SCTN affordable if you just want to experiment. If it's important in Saline, we're there, bringing you the people who make it happen. Whether you need to move inventory or just want to be noticed, SCTN will get you the results and recognition.
Take a look at the individual banners that have been made for this particular game. May hang up for the rest of the season. Shooting percentage. Dexter shooting 10 of 20 for 50%. Saline 7 of 20 for 35%. Free throws. Saline 9 of 10. Dexter only going to the line 4 times, only making 1. Excuse me, making 2 of 3. 2 of 3 for 67%. I got to be able to read this thing correctly, and everything is set for there. So Saline not shooting as well as they should, and turning the ball over more than they should.
Free throws keeping them in the game right now.
And we are underway in the second half. The Hornets up 26-25. Into the first quarter with 17-15. We got a foul underneath to start the third quarter. First team foul, of course, for Saline. I'm trying to look to see who it's on. It's going to be on Eddie Gall. Betts and James going at it again. They were going after one another during the first. Another hard pick by Dyer. Underneath is Caparoni, and Ciparoni travels with it.
He says, no way.
I don't think Dexter has liked any of the calls against him so far. Oh, it's inbound to Baker now. Dexter a little relaxed with their pressure, although it worked effectively for them late in the second half, or excuse me, the second quarter. Korecki going up against Vert. Baker loses it. He dashes it out to James. James fakes, takes a harder shot, and hits it anyway against Betts.
Nothing but net.
Saline scores the first 2 points of the third quarter. They're up by 3, 28-25. Here's the long pass to Ciparoni. Rebounded by Ciparoni. No over the back call by Dyer. The three-point shot is missed. And this is Shirt now with the follow-up. (28-27) Hornets. 6:40 remaining in the third. 6-foot center Dyer is now going up the small forward against Mack. Korecki's going to drive the baseline. His shot is short. Korecki's shaking his head.
They're in the zone now, huh?
Yeah, looking like it a little bit. Actually, one's playing man, so a boxing one maybe. Shot is good by Betts, and now Dreadnoughts have the lead, 29-28. Hollis playing way out above the circle. Dyer going against Mack. Mack may not want to go inside as he gets rejected by the 6'6" sophomore. Oh, Baker once again misses. He had a quick 6 points in the opening quarter, but has been slowed down considerably since. Dexter now trying to expand their lead. Betts does the spin move. Nice pass underneath. And Shirt is rejected by Baker, and then Baker gets hammered. No foul call. And the Dreadnoughts are up by 3, and their big crowd who has come to the Saline High School Gymnasium is loving it. James from the paint. Baker. A push-up.
Oh, my. That was a tough
Baker
call.
gets another foul, and the Hornets are about to send 5 new men out on the court. 5 new players. So Coach Brenneman didn't like what he saw from the 5 that he sent out at the beginning of the third quarter. It's McPherson, Bull, Comfort, Gull, and Wilcox. Gull being the only starter out on the floor right now. So let's see if this will shake things up.
And as physical as this game is, that call on Baker down there wasn't really consistent to how they've been calling the calls.
Baker got his 3rd foul, by the way. The only other person in foul trouble is Conger for Dexter. He's got 3 as well. 31-28, Dexter looking to get their largest lead of the ball game. Conger's going to come back in at the next whistle. Dexter spreading it out methodically. The Dreadnoughts fire the 3 from Ciparoni, rebounded by Vert. And Dexter will reset.
One thing the zone really did is taking the air out of the ball a little bit for Dexter.
Long cross-court pass, back up top. Betts got it. And now Vert, Wilcox on him, and we've got a foul underneath, and that's going to be on McPherson. A little over a minute taken off the clock in this possession. Ciparone checks out. Conger comes back in with his 3 fouls. He'll inbound it. Dan, have you figured out what kind of defense Saline is using?
Yeah, they're just playing a 3-2 zone and trying to deny the ball inside.
Betts has got it up top.
Oh, nice defense.
Shot is short by Dyer. And a traveling call on the Dreadnoughts.
McPherson did a nice job on defense in there. Got his hand on the ball, forced the bad shot.
That was a loose ball there, and we have got a hold on Vert. Dexter almost came up with a steal. That's Vert's 3rd foul. So Conger and Vert both have 3. Snyder will check in for Vert. Coach Randy Swoverland knows immediately which one of his players is in foul trouble.
And now we have the battle of the benches again, Steve.
Another foul underneath, and this is going to go against Dexter. By the way, if you haven't noticed, Dan, Saline has only scored 2 points. And there's 3:11 left in the 3rd, so they're really in a scoring drought right now.
Yeah, I think Ryan James hit that jumper right at the beginning of the quarter, too.
Comfort going against Conger. Baseline, he was nearly triple team, puts it back out. Eddie's got it up top. He's going to drive in the lane. He walked with it. Another turnover for the Hornets. Under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Dexter matching its largest lead of the ball game right now.
They're giving Betts a 3-point shot. If he wants to take it, they're saying shoot it.
But Dexter a lot more patient than you would think. Mack, Baker, in fact, the rest of the 5 that was replaced is about to come back in.
Nice.
Brenneman giving them instructions at court. Next whistle, they'll all come back. We'll see if that's going to make the difference. As we're now down to 2 minutes, and Dexter is looking rather content, except now Conger's going to take the shot, and the rebound is loose, and Eddie Gall picks it up. If Dexter had gotten that rebound, that certainly would be a spirit killer for the Hornets. But as it is, Saline can tie it up with a 3-ball. They haven't taken too many threes tonight. Jason Ball is traveled down the lane, literally.
Turnover after turnover.
Legged with them right now. Unfortunately, the 5 that came in with 4 minutes to go didn't do much better. Saline still only with a deuce in this quarter. Now the Hornets put on some pressure themselves, and Coach Brenneman feared that he'd have to go to this because Dexter beats the press rather easily. Conger gets the ball stripped when he wasn't looking.
Correct.
Good job by the Saline defense. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, well, Saline has another opportunity to cut into that Dexter lead. We've got a foul underneath, and it's against Ryan James. Another turnover. And that really gets the first booze of the night. Down under a minute in the third. Korecki going against Betts, looking for a steal, waiting for the opportunity. Dexter swinging it out around the perimeter, waiting for the opening. Waiting for Saline to make a mistake defensively. Korecki comes back out. Mack makes a gamble. And Saline gets back without paying the penalty. And Ciparone loses it off his knee.
Yes, 20 seconds, Steve.
He let the ball go. And the referee signaled that it went off his knee, so Saline gets the ball back. They trail by 3. Things getting tense inside the high school gymnasium. The student section all on their feet, but not cheering as loudly as they were before. The long pass underneath to Hollis, who was wide open. No one was within 15 feet, and gets within 1. Dexter can't get the final shot off, although Gales against the glass and the rim. And the Hornets, with that last second shot, is only their 4th point of the quarter. Meanwhile, Dexter only scores 6 themselves, but they now have the 1-point lead. We'll be back with the exciting conclusion of this ballgame in just a moment on the Saline Community Television Network.
Is your family's busy schedule getting in the way of your eyesight? At Cunningham Vision Centers, we have the solution. With our express service, on-site lab, evening and Saturday hours, our knowledgeable staff will have you seeing clearly in no time. We have a great selection of glasses and contacts at discount prices. Put Dr. Thomas Cunningham's 15 years of practice to work for you. At Cunningham Vision Center, seeing is believing, with 2 offices conveniently located in the Saline Shopping Center and in downtown Tecumseh.
Fans and the teams gathering together at the Saline High School Gymnasium for a showdown between the 2 conference unbeaten teams, Saline and Dexter. Both have the 2 best defenses in all of the area in the 3 counties surrounding Ann Arbor, and the Hornets find themselves trailing by a single point, 31-30, as only 10 points were scored by both teams in the quarter. Baker sets a vicious block, but the Hornets end up turning it over.
Ouch.
Again, this is what people are going to be talking about if the Hornets lose this game. The number of times they have turned the ball over. Team fouls look like this. Saline with 4 and Dexter with 2.
Good
Dexter
trap.
has 2 members with 3 fouls, that being Conger and Burt. Burt's carrying the ball now, off the break.
He looked like he walked to me.
Nick Dyer with the layup, and Dexter regains its lead by 3. Foul underneath. What do we have? It is going to be against Dexter, and I think it's Ciparone on the push. It's his 2nd, the team's 3rd. Back to inbound. The lob to Baker, uses his body, and they're going to call a push-off on Ciparone. I thought it was going to be Baker. I really did.
I did
because
too.
I thought I saw Baker push off to get position on the lob. But they call it on Ciparone, who picks up 2 quick ones. The lob again is up for grabs.
Ooh.
Saline retained possession. It went off Conger.
That was close.
Hollis, cross-court pass to Korecki. Korecki's going to shoot. His shot is short. The ball goes out of bounds off Korecki, and Dexter has got it. Nice way to get out of the press there. James nearly gets the steal away from Ciparoni. And you've got Ciparoni and Korecki on the court, the 2 point guards together. Conger from short range misses.
Over the back.
Gets his follow-up. And you are right, Ed Conger gets his fourth. Drawing more boos. And I can't tell if that's the Dexter fans protesting the call or the Saline fans responding to Conger's disbelief.
Oh, they got to call that.
We got a foul or a turnover, and it hasn't been signaled yet. It looks like it's going to be a foul on Burt, and that's his fourth. So now Conger and Burt pick up their fourth fouls early on in the fourth, Dan, and that is critical as Dexter decides they need to call a timeout with the score 33-30. Dan, you got some highlights of the JV game played earlier tonight.
I sure do. The JV team won 51-38, only committing 11 turnovers, and for a JV team, that's outstanding. And they put, it looks like just about every player scored. Josh Graham had 2 points. Brent Lauerman had 7 points and 7 steals. Scott Moore had 2 points and 3 assists. Adam Nation, 2 points. Joel Bennick had 5 points. Jeremy Ortwine, 6 points and 3 steals. Joe Burke, he had an outstanding game last time, had 8 points, 2 assists, and 5 rebounds this time. Singleton had 9 points, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Coppins had a point. Matt Trombley had 2 points, and Rusty Wilson back after spraining his ankle and had 7 points. So they
had 8 rebounds.
Yeah, and 8 rebounds. So they had a really good game. Also wanted to mention the next game is at Monroe CC, and I was out there Tuesday night scouting, and I really would like to see the students come out there. We could dominate that crowd. It's like 7 rows up on both sides, and we could really fill those stands up and make that a home court advantage for us out there. JV game starts at 5:30.
Well, the Saline crowd has done a good job all year at home, that's for sure. (33-30). James puts up a wild shot, and it's rebounded by Snyder. 6.5 to go in the game. Saline could get on a rally, but all of a sudden the offensive production for both teams have been grinding down to a halt because of turnovers. And Dexter is really spreading the ball out and not taking too many shots.
And Saline is going back to their man-to-man. They really have to down 3 points. They can't afford to sit back in the zone.
Fast break opportunity if Gall can catch it. He has to put in the reverse, and he missed the shot.
Oh, and falls to the floor. Conger comes up with the rebound. That was a very difficult shot from what he had to do. He had to do the reverse.
The pass was just a little too long.
And a foul underneath on James. And now, Dan, with the score as close as it is, and the offense is holding on to the ball for a while, it could come down to free throw shooting as both teams are approaching the 1-and-1. Saline's got 5 team fouls. Dexter has 6. Betts has got it against James. James had his face right in his chest. There's no lack of intensity right now, Dan, I can tell you that.
They're playing hard.
Something underneath. Officials confer.
This is unusual. An explanation before the foul.
The foul is on Baker with the push. For Baker, I believe that's number 4. It is. So now Baker has to watch himself. And Coach Terry Brenneman is talking to the same official again. The official seems to be pretty patient with Coach Brennan. Jason Bull now has to come in for Baker. Now, Cipineri was in a bad position and got called for the walk. And Cipineri can't believe it. And frankly, I think Saline's defense was so tight, I don't think Cipineri had a chance to move at all.
That's the second time down low he's gotten called for the walk.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
Saline's defense was locked him inside a vault.
They blanketed him in.
And I don't know how he could have taken a step. Korecki gets swatted, but now they're calling a jump. And Dexter will get the ball back on the alternate possession. Wilcox coming into the ball game for Eddie Gall. 33-30 still. If you can believe this, it was 26-25 Saline at half.
It's been 2 points scored this quarter. 3 minutes.
Oh, and Korecki comes up with another steal. He leads the team in that category, coming off the bench. Oh, it's going to drive baseline, make something happen, and he does.
Oh, yeah.
Gets within one, and the Hornet crowd is back on their feet cheering.
Was that a sweet move or what?
It may come down to that. You may call it forcing something to have happen, but the players have got to start making plays.
Look up.
Betts scores inside for the first time tonight. And every time Saline has got within a single point, Dexter has come back quickly to bring that lead back to 3. Max got it. And now Bull and Cipineri. Wilcox from 16. Off the rim, no. Rebounded by Dyer, the 6'6" sophomore. And the Dreadnoughts got it back. We are halfway through the fourth quarter, and the Hornets have got to pick it up even a little bit more.
Oh, there's a walk. Oh, my goodness.
Dyer may have slid his foot. Snyder loses the ball, and here comes Korecki. Korecki's going to force his way through, and it's blocked by Dyer out of bounds. And now, one of the officials is calling goaltending.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. Dyer has gone nuts.
And now we've got an altercation out in the middle of the floor between Mack and Cipineri.
What a shame. I mean, it's Saline's advantage, but I don't think that was a very good goaltending call. And then on top of that, Dexter gets the tee.
Well, it may be a double technical because both players were getting after one another face to face. And I can read the official's lips. It is a double technical foul. One will go against Cipineri of Dexter, the other, Mack of Saline. Now, Dan, in this situation, you'll have to help me out because I cover mostly college and pro, but do both teams get to shoot free throws?
I think if they both get a double tee, neither team will shoot. It should be Dexter's ball out of bounds. And we got the 2 points, so it's 35-34.
Coach Brenneman out there again looking for an explanation. Jim Cameron, the coach of the JV team, is out there giving his players encouragement. And the crowd is his loudest of the night. Keith Shirt will come into the ball game for Dexter. Lost in the middle of this. Baker has come back off the bench. He'll try and play the final 3:22 with 4 fouls.
Okay. I don't know how.
Well, Saline is going to get the ball back because of the alternate possession.
Gotcha.
The double technicals leads to the possession arrow.
Gotcha.
And that means the Hornets will get the ball. So now Saline has a chance to take their first lead since early on in the third quarter. James and Betts go after one another. Saline nearly loses the ball.
Get in there.
Forces the shot and just won't go out, and it's saved, not by Conger. Saline gets a second chance at 3:06.
The referee in that case is part of the ball, so the ball hit him, and then Conger hit it. Saline's ball.
Dexter takes a timeout. My goodness, this is exciting. Let's take a look inside that Saline huddle. Your score is 35-34. 3:06 remaining.
Now's the time where you can't have any more turnovers. You really need to take care of the ball. And we're both in the shooting situation for the fouls, so we got to be careful on the fouls too, although Saline seems to be shooting better than Dexter.
Both teams offensively were doing rather well in the first half, but ever since, tough defense and a lot of turnovers have made this a rather slow game in terms of offensive output. But it's also quite exciting right here, and to be a part of it.
This is great. This is the game we thought it would be. 1 point in the fourth quarter, a 3:06, huh?
Undefeated conference teams playing all out. These two teams will play once again, but it will be at Dexter. The Dreadnoughts trying to steal one away from the Hornets. Comfort is in the ball game for the Hornets. Alice does the spin move again, gets around one player. Wilcox hits a foul and gets the bucket. It's 36-35 Hornets.
Great rebound by Wilcox.
And now Dexter will have to try to replay the lead. It's not keep away. Burt, he challenged early on. Offensive foul, and Burt is out of the ball game. Allis took the charge. You got to hand it to Burt, a very aggressive ball player who is willing to take things under his own hands like he did early on in the game, but he gets called for the charge. He is out with 2:33 remaining.
Yeah, and he's trying to stare down the official, but it's not going to do him any good now. 5 fouls and you sit down.
Keith Shirt will also check out. Dave Snyder came in, and someone else had to as well. Must be Dyer. Hollis has got it topside. Conger guarding on him. Baker touches it for the first time in a while. The spin move is again long. A loose ball and a tie-up. Dexter will get it back.
Boy, did Alice work on that to get that ball open. He really worked underneath, boxing out on that play.
Brenneman giving Baker instructions. Baker frustrated. Baker has scored all 8 of his points in the first quarter. Hasn't scored since. Taken very few shots. Conger to inbound. And Dexter looks to push it back up. Ciparone was open down the lane, but wasn't seen by his teammate. Ciparone being triple teamed. Baker with a block shot, tipped. And what do we got underneath Baker's 5th foul? I have no idea where that came from.
After the block shot, Baker was out of the play and never really did anything, as far as I could see.
He didn't seem to be anywhere around the loose ball. We'll have to look at a replay. Maybe we can apologize later, but from our first angle to the both of us, we don't know where Baker could have gotten that 5th foul because he wasn't even there. So each team loses a great player due to fouling out. On the line, Bill Ciparone. Ciparone has 5 for the half. Dexter 2 of 3 from the line tonight. It's no good. And he gets the second shot.
Why? That's a one-on-one.
No, they were not calling it a one-on-one. They were calling it a two-shot foul.
Oh, my goodness.
They called it a two-shot foul. Now, let me tell you something. I'll tell you at the next break. As the rebound is controlled by Dexter. Snyder's tip is not good, and we've got another foul.
Oh.
No one knows who's it on right now. And they pointed out it's on Dexter. Saline now will go to the line with the 1-and-1. And actually, they may be in the double bonus because that is probably Dexter's 10th team foul. Now, here's the interesting thing. Baker gets called for the foul well outside the paint, away from the ball, and yet the Dreadnoughts get to shoot two.
All I can think of is on the block shot, the ref had a delayed call. He might have thought that maybe, yeah, he did foul him on that
If
block.
that's the case, it's a 5-second delay.
It was. That's the only thing I can think of.
Hollis shooting nearly 80% from the line this season. The 1-and-1 is good.
Yes!
Dan, you're not excited, are you?
Oh, yeah.
It is not Dexter's 10th-team foul, it's their 9th. So Hollis needed to hit the front end to get his second one up. The second one is good. And now the Hornets are up by 3. They originally had them up by 4. I knew they were only up by 1 shooting those free throws. They gave them an extra point. Now it's right at 38-35.
Saline back in their 3-2 zone.
A 3 can tie it with a minute and a half. Loose ball onto the court, and Dexter still has it.
Excuse me, Steve. Saline went back in their 3-2 zone. And if you remember before, we ran a lot of time off the clock, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
The shoe is on the other foot.
That's correct.
Dexter has been trying to run the time off most of the second half.
Well, they switched again. They're back in the man, are they?
No, it looks like zone again. It is zone. Snyder to Betts, the point guard. Betts looking for something to happen. Can't see it. Now Snyder's got it. Back to Betts. And we are taking a lot of time off the clock now. 1:10 remaining in the game. Dexter trailing by 3. Hornets have got to prevent the 3 ball. Ciparone faked it. And now we're down under a minute. The Dexter fans are on their feet. The Saline fans are on their feet, and Dexter calls a timeout. Woo! 38-35, 50.2 seconds remaining.
And this is the game we thought it would be.
More than we thought. Dexter, a disciplined team which are very selective in their shot, but they can't be right now. They can't wait for Saline to make a mistake defensively. And that's what they were doing on that last possession.
My guess is right now he's designing a play to get a good three-point shot off against the zone. And I'm looking for a screen along the three-point line, a pass, and a quick screen, and a quick shot right off the three-point line. That's probably what he's looking at right now.
A foul by either team will put the other at the free throw line. And the difference is Dexter has 9 team fouls, giving Saline 2 shots, while Saline has 1 more foul for Dexter's 1-and-1.
That's right, and if Dexter only makes a 2, that means they either have to foul or steal. If they foul, we shoot 2, so the advantage Saline. So what we don't want to happen is a good clean three-point shot. We got to get a hand up and put it in their face.
This game for a foothold in the Southeastern Conference. Saline has won 3 straight conference titles. Snyder. Conger. He's got 4 fouls on him. There's the wide open 3. No good by Betts. Rebounded by Snyder, who gets the easy lay-in. We have 28 seconds to go. Dexter will play the diamond press.
That's it. Take care of it now.
James has got it.
Get it to Alice.
Loses his dribble, and now Alice has got it. And they're going to have to foul Alice, and that's the one they want on the free throw line if you're Saline.
Brenneman was yelling all down the court, get it to Jacob, get it to Jacob.
Alice coming into the game 40 of 51 from the stripe, the most experienced player from the free throw line. He has missed one today, but I believe he is 3 of 4. And now we have a timeout, Saline.
Wanted to talk again about the Monroe game coming up Tuesday night. I know it's not a league game, but it's really easy to get there. You take 23 south to M50 all the way into Monroe. It turns into Front Street, turn left on Monroe, and left on Elm, and it's right on the corner there. And boy, I'm telling you, we could really be the home court team down there if we show in numbers. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Dexter has come in full force with their crowd as well. And although it's still a Saline crowd, you've got to respect them for the number of people they have brought out. The Hornets coming up in the rest of January. Got a three straight non-conference games before SEC action returns again. January the 31st, Saline plays at Chelsea as we start the ball rolling for the second round robin. And then on February 7th, the Saline Community Television Network will bring you the Tecumseh game. So Dan, after being together for 3 straight weeks, we get a couple of weeks off.
That's right. Do we get paid when we're off?
Do we get paid when we're on? 13.1 seconds left. Alice with a critical free throw.
Get it there, yeah!
And takes it. And Alice breathes a sign of relief.
How did that drop?
It forces Dexter to make a shot. Don't expect Saline to foul, or try to. The second one is good. Alice hits a pair of clutch free throws, and now Saline has to play defense for the final 10 seconds. Snyder to Betts, the point guard. Betts from 15, loses
That's a
it.
travel.
May have walked. Another short tip and a miss. And what do we have?
That's the game. It's over.
The buzzer sounded before the tip-in by Dwyer, and the Hornets win the ball game, 40-37.
Oh my goodness! You know, they needed the three-point shot, and who was that? Was that Betts? Went inside and it looked like he traveled, and then he forced one up.
And then the tip-in was late after the buzzer had sounded, although we didn't hear it up here, and the Hornets.
Oh,
it's hard to say that they escaped, but that's the way I feel right now with a 40-33. The Saline crowd chanting SEC. They have won no title, folks, but they have taken a solid foothold now.
You got to give your hats off, too, to Dexter. They came out and played a great game here in Saline, and just fell short, and lucky for us. I'm looking at... you know, a couple really good bench players today. Jeff Wilcox hit that one rebound tip-in to take the lead, and I think we held on to it after that. Alice with the great free throws down the stretch to win the game. Just some great play for those guys. I mean, the only 3 people that scored in the fourth quarter were James, Wilcox, and Alice.
Alice going 5 of 6 free throw line and hit the 2 critical free throws to give Saline its 3-point victory. 40-37. We hope to have a game show in just a moment. We want to thank our crew. We've neglected to mention them here. Jeff Fryman working the operations today, and Ashley Altieri, and our camera person, our executive producer is Kyle Newmeyer, and we thank all of you and our sponsors for watching tonight's exciting game. The Hornets win 40-37, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Back we are inside a very exasperated area around the center court area as everyone is basically catching their breath after a very intense and exciting game. One in which Saline came back to win 40-37 and go 6-0 in conference play. Coach, you're halfway done. Your feelings so far?
It's been a very tough first half. We've had 3 absolutely awesome games that could have went either way in the last minute, and the league is very tough. Dexter is an excellent team. We're very fortunate to be where we are, and the best thing about where we are is I know we can get a lot better. We have a lot of improvement to do, and I know these kids will come back Monday ready to improve again.
Tonight, both teams offensively seem to do well when it's the defenses that are known mostly for these two teams, and then things start to spread out a bit, and turnovers killed both teams. It just must have been amazing trailing by 3 most of the third and into the fourth quarter and not getting it down within 1.
We had a stretch there where nothing happened on the scoreboard for a long time. We switched our defenses, and that was very effective against them. Our kids did a nice job of matching up with their outside shooting, and we took that away. But every time we got the ball, and it was only 3 or 4 possessions, we just couldn't get the bucket to go ahead. I give their defense a lot of credit. I really do. Our offense is still struggling a little bit, and we'll fine-tune it, hopefully, for the next game on Tuesday.
How was it from your side on the angle, not being able to exactly control how things were going? I'm sure you were willing things to happen, but it just seemed like it took an eternity, that second half, to unfold, and you finally came through. What were your feelings going on during that stretch?
Well, I believe that our bench is a little stronger than theirs. Their starters, their main players are very, very good. Their bench is good, too. But in the first half, we kind of wore them out, and they were getting tired. And I just always feel that going into the last 3 or 4 minutes, we're the better team, and so far this year that's been right, and I hope it continues.
The key stat that Dan pointed out, 13 of 14 from the free throw line, obviously a big key in the game, and 2 of them were made to the guy on the right that cinched things. You got to be impressed with the way free throw shooting was going this evening.
Yeah, we work on it pretty hard, and Jacob takes a lot of pride in it. He shoots hundreds and hundreds, and
he shoots twice as much as anyone else on the team during the game.
I hope that continues. He played an awesome game. Jeff Wilcox went in and did a terrific job. I just can't give, when you have a score of 40 to 37, it comes down to a complete team effort. And we had 10 kids play tonight that just really did a job defensively, holding them to 37 points. And, our practice has really been good. We have 14 kids, and we've really worked hard, all 14 of them this week, in preparing for this game, and I'm really proud of the whole team.
Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. I'm going to talk to these 2 guys who came through at the very end, Jeff Wilcox and Jacob Oz. Jeff, you got a 3-point shot off right away to get things going. Must have been good for your confidence, but I really want to take you both through the second half, where you only scored 4 points in the third quarter, and you were trailing by 3 most of the way, turning the ball over a lot. And one of the things that happened, as soon as you guys got a bucket, all of a sudden Dexter came back and scored within the next 10 seconds to re-up their lead by 3. Was that kind of demoralizing at all, or what was going through your mind at the time?
Well, I think we were prepared to handle that kind of situation. Our motto through the week was toughness, and I think we were tough both physically and mentally today, and I think that helped us in the second half.
Now, you happen to be in a very fortunate position with about a minute to go off a missed shot. You got there to pick up a rebound, and you were literally within a foot away of putting in the follow-up shot that you made. Exactly, I'm not sure if you can remember what exactly was going on at the time, but I'm sure your eyes lit up pretty wide when you had the ball.
I'm not usually in that kind of a situation where I'm under the basket with the ball, but I didn't really think about anything. I just shot it.
And everything went good, and how do you feel knowing that you got that shot?
Pretty good right now.
Okay, Jeff, hold on. Just stay right here, and we're going to talk to Jacob for a minute. Nice to see you. Hey. You made a couple of pair of free throws. You had, I believe, 13 on the night of the team's 40 points. It came down to a situation that everybody plays themselves out on at the free throw line, either on their own driveway, on their own court, indoors or outdoors, where literally the fate of the game was basically in your hands. You were shooting the front end of a 1-and-1. If you missed the shot, Dexter could get the rebound and put a shot up to win. But you made the first free throw, but it hit the rim about 5 or 6 times, and finally you leaned back and you celebrated that one. How about that?
Well, it felt good coming off my hands, and right away my instincts told me, yeah, it's going in. So I stepped back and I looked at it, and it hit the rim, and I kind of looked at it funny because then it fell in, so it got the message.
You both usually kind of know when the shot releases the hand, whether it's a free throw or a 3-point shot, you can almost say it's in or not, and that one felt pretty good to you, but it kind of made things suspenseful once again. You put the second one in, and then tell us about the defense that you ran to prevent Dexter from getting a bucket in the final 13 seconds.
Well, we wanted to go down and run a zone 3-2 zone, and we went down there, and we were trying to prevent them from getting off a three-pointer, obviously. And we just went out and played tough, and they came inside, and I looked at the clock, and there was like 2 seconds left, and so I just stepped back because if they would have hit that bucket, it was fine as long as I didn't foul them because we could have thrown the ball and ran the timeout. So.
You guys won your last 7 games now, and I can imagine, I think it would be just natural to let up just a little bit. Things are easy. We're continuing to win, but you guys really got a scare tonight from Dexter.
Yeah, we knew they were a good team coming in, and like Jeff said, our motto through the week was toughness, but I didn't think the game would be this physical. I mean, the refs really let it go a lot, and there were a lot of banging around, and I got lots of bumps and bruises, so they're a good team. They're right behind us, I think, in defense and wise on the season, so we knew they'd play tough defense, and we just went out and gutted it out and worked hard.
And let's face it, you guys have been working hard all week. You had not only basketball to deal with, but you had exams on Wednesday and Thursday, and that's just bad enough as it is. Did it help out that exams were on Wednesday and Thursday? You didn't have to take exams today, that you were able to get the day off. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you guys came closest to an NBA team, coming around for 11 a.m. shoot-around and then going back home and then coming back. Do you think that kind of helped out to be able to have that day off?
Yeah, I think there was no pressure on us really at practice yesterday or today at the shoot-around or during the game because we don't have any homework this weekend.
Finally, Jeff, was this about the most intense game associated with?
Definitely, especially in the second half and right in the game when any mistake could cost the game.
Very good, and it did come down to the last couple possessions, and both you guys came through it, and we appreciate being on the show for our postgame. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys. All right. Again, for our crew, Ashley Altieri and Jeff Fryman, we also want to thank our statistician before the game began, our season stats, that's Bates. We appreciate that, Dan. Another exciting ball game.
It was just an outstanding coach game by both coaches. Coach adjusting the defenses when he was having difficulty at the flex cut. Just a great game. And looking forward to coming back and doing that one in February.
Yeah, against the Hornets have 3 straight non-conference games coming up in the next week before they get back to SEC action, and that game will be at Chelsea. Again, we have Saline High School basketball all season long. Television Network. We also concentrate on all the other winter sports, volleyball. I'll be a part of it and watch it here week after week on the Saline Community Television Network. It's an exciting one. We don't want to leave, but we've got to. The Hornets go 6-0 in conference play, winners of their last 7 games with a tough 40-37 victory over the Red. For Dan Clark.